Hello, can everybody hear us? Please comment in the chat that our audio is working, and then we'll say hi to you.
I think Robert's the only one that's in the chat right now. So Robert, can you hear us? I kind of feel like I'm using a Ouija board right now. Are there any spirits who would like to contact us? Oh, cool.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Okay. Hey! Hi there. Good to talk to, so far, just Robert. Oh, there's a delay. That's why we're not showing up yet.
And Joe's here.
Hey, Joe! Oh, Joe, you've got a new username. Joe from Detroit. Hi.
Now the question is,
I assume
are
that's
you from
just Joe H, because I know Joe H is from Michigan.
Oh, okay. Specifically Detroit?
I don't know.
I mean,
I assume that that's just Joe from...
Joe is just somewhere in the vicinity of Michigan.
So, hi. I know we've been away for a while. It's good news. I recently started a new job, and Nova's been working on postdoc applications and has recently accepted a joint posting between Columbia and IAS, the Institute of Advanced Study. Most people know it as a branch of Princeton. So we're going to be going to the Northeast at some point this summer. I don't know anything more than that, but I'm excited because we have jobs, so I know what I'm going to be doing in like 9 months.
And I'm here, and I've been here, and I will stay here.
Well, you just recently started at my old job.
I did. I stole Astra's job right out from under her.
Yeah.
It's been a few months. Just got done with our International Women's Day conference, which was super fun, and I got to moderate the Navigating Discrimination and Bias panel, which is definitely more in the realm of my knowledge, seeing as it is not material science and engineering. So I was like, yes, put me on the humanities one for sure. But yeah, other than that, I've descended into madness as I have gotten addicted to fairy books.
That's what happens when you steal my job.
I know. It's like, it's a spiral because I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with these scientists who don't understand the importance of a tech check. But also I just want to escape into this fantasy novel and like into my own fantasy writing of like, I don't want to have to deal with you. Thank you. Bye.
Anyway, we are doing great, and we're excited to be back with you all. Today, I didn't write copy for the intro. That's...
Also, Robert, I absolutely agree. Boo for any forms of breaking up the group.
We're not broken up. I should make it very clear that my stunt wife and I are not sad. When I say she stole my job, I mean that I left for a different job.
And you're going to be abandoning me for the East Coast.
And I recommended you for my old job and put in many good words with our boss, and then you got my old job and I helped you learn how to do it. So Thank you. We're good. And, you know, this means
we have a healthy and healthy relationship.
It's fine. We're drinking something green.
It's apple margaritas from the St. Patty's Day celebration
in
your
building.
apartment. Yeah. The fact that they are serving alcohol in your building, this is a bougie place. This is a bougie place when they give you free alcohol.
It's a really good thing I got a new job. It means I can continue to afford rent. Okay. So, I'm going to try to do a good intro, because I didn't write copy for this because you're the writer and I thought it would be funny for you to react to what we're talking about cold. So
do you want me to do the intro based off the very little knowledge that I know?
The basic concept I gave you that was, hey, come over. What?
Oh, did we go back to the...
No, I think this just didn't refresh well. Hold on.
It says we're live.
We're all...
Can y'all see us?
Yeah, can you see us? It should be...
Oh, you see that's the one live.
Oh!
Have we just...
Did we just go... You know what? It's fine. It's entirely fine. Hi, we're doing great.
Me and my stunt wife are doing great.
So today
Oh.
we are going to be.
No video at all. Okay, cool.
Dang it! So that didn't work at all. Oh, now we have video! Yay!
Perfect. You can see our beautiful
Excellent.
faces.
Okay, so no.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a description of what we're going to be talking about as someone who does not know what we are going to be talking about. So today, Astra is going to tell me a fun story about how NASA sets brooms on fire in order to do important science and to protect themselves from the danger of hydrogen. Yeah, got it.
Today we are going to be talking about hydrogen and how it is the fuel NASA uses to power rockets, but how it has a tendency to escape and cause invisible fires, and how NASA has dealt with that over the years, which did, start as setting brooms on fire to make sure that people didn't die.
Goals. Honestly, goals.
So, let's...
Daria's here too. I hope I pronounced that correctly, right?
Yeah. Hi. Hey, Daria. So, let's switch over. Cool. I'm so good at live. Just gonna pull up my notes.
Oh yeah, does this explode easily or is it just one of those things that catches on fire?
Hydrogen, it depends on the density.
Of the pressure and shit like
But
that?
are you familiar with the Hindenburg?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Yes, hydrogen can explode. First question, why is hydrogen used as rocket fuel? So hydrogen is used as a rocket propellant because it is both very light and extremely powerful. Are you checking up on the chat?
Yeah, I'm replying to stuff. I'm paying attention, I promise. Is
Okay.
there going to be a quiz at the end?
Oh, most definitely.
I don't retain any information well.
So hydrogen has the lowest molecular weight of any known substance, which makes sense. It's number 1 on the periodic table. It has a single proton. And it also happens to burn with extreme intensity at 5,500 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is both very, very light and very, very hot. When you
Same.
not wrong.
I definitely get blown over by the wind sometimes in Chicago.
Dude, you're tiny. You are a tiny human. But like liquid hydrogen, when you are combined with an oxidizer like liquid oxygen, you yield the highest specific impulse of any known element, or the most momentum generated per mass consumed. Literally, hydrogen is the fuel that gives you the most boom for your buck. And it's just the best thing we can use as rocket propellant because we want the lightest fuel possible to get the rocket going as fast and far as possible.
Just saying hot, just like Eris, thank you. I am the hottest feral creature from your nightmares. What?
I'm married. I'm married, but you know.
No, I'm
This
stunt
is
wife.
a good. Yeah, you're doing
I'm
a very
stunt wife.
good job as stunt wife.
Thank you. Listen, you have to have a hot stunt wife if you have a hot wife. That's just
That's
the rules.
just
That's
science.
just the rules.
That's just science.
And we know what science is as someone who is a scientist and someone who is not a scientist.
Okay. Now, although hydrogen is the most efficient possible rocket fuel, there are some significant practical downsides to using hydrogen.
Like the fire?
Yes, hydrogen is very, very flammable. For example, hydrogen can have potential ignition sources, including
That's a long list.
electrical, static electricity, electric charge from equipment operation, mechanical impact, friction, rubbing of surfaces, metal fracture, thermal, open flame, high velocity jet heating, hot surfaces like exhaust manifolds, vehicle exhaust, chemical catalysts, and other reactants.
Same?
I mean, you do just kind of go off at like the lightest trigger. You just have a hair trigger feral everything.
Yeah, I've been described as a loose cannon before by my former roommate, and my mom put it nicer as a strong cup of coffee. And then Sam put it in a way that was much more blunt of, you have issues with authority and would be considered a combatant witness. So I wasn't allowed to help him.
Combatant stunt wife.
I am ready to fight at the drop of a hat, knowing I will lose.
You're ready to fight before the hat hits the ground. We had a whole live stream about you wanting to fist fight dead scientists.
That I would win, except for Marie Curie and the live ones too, and I'd lose. We know this.
But back to hydrogen. In addition to being highly reactive, hydrogen also tends to leak through the tiniest of cracks because, like Eris, it's really, really small and cannot be contained. And unlike Eris, when hydrogen catches fire, you can't always tell. With you, you know.
I mean, I'm pretty on fire right now with my jokes. Thank you very much. I will leave.
But hydrogen actually burns with a very pale blue flame that is almost invisible in daylight. We have an example of that.
I will say, Daria, I would do so well in the Wild West. That's a lie. That's a lie. I wouldn't.
You would do so poorly. Have you ever held a gun?
No.
Okay.
I just have my claws, and that's what I go for.
Yeah. So to demonstrate how hard it is to see hydrogen fire, we are going to pull up a video.
Robert says I'm on fire, so.
Great. You really should be. You gotta respond. Well, we can respond here. It's fine.
You can talk to them. Oh, also, hi, Nano Blooms. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the feral side of science YouTube.
Okay, so we are gonna show a very quick video that demonstrates how it's difficult to see a hydrogen flame, and I'm not sure if the audio is gonna work because
We're about to find out.
Yeah, well, I'm on mute, so we will not be able to tell. So comment if you can hear this audio. It's sped up so we don't get copyright claimed, but when I was editing it, I made sure I could still understand. You really just need the visual. You don't need the audio. Okay.
If you can't hear it, we'll make our own audio. Or I will, because I have no idea what this video is going to be.
Come on. Why are we not? Hold on.
Here we have the propane and hydrogen flames burning on a bright sunny day. The orange propane flame is clearly visible.
Okay, so here you can see
the
a
hydrogen
propane
flame is nearly invisible.
And you can't
but when
see
we look
the
at the flames
hydrogen
through a
flame.
thermal imaging camera,
But
we can see both flames clearly.
Using thermal imaging,
the pure hydrogen flame
you
has
can
low
see
radiant heat,
both.
much less than the amount of heat radiated from the burning of conventional fuels.
They're pretty.
Here we measure the lower thermocouple readings at just over 500 degrees Fahrenheit for both the hydrogen and propane flames. At the same time, the readings at the middle and upper thermocouples show a lower temperature and a greater difference between the two flames.
I mean, I will.
Now, let's do the same demonstration in the dark, at night. We are in the same location that we used in the daytime. You can see that the same landmarks are visible. In the dark, both flames are clearly visible without a thermal imaging camera.
You can pretty clearly tell hydrogen flame dim, propane flame bright. Okay?
I think that makes it. So you got the propane one that's just, And then you have the hydrogen.
Here, wait. I'm gonna go full screen. Can you show us your interpretive dance, Eris?
Yeah. So for propane, you got to remember that it's like the arm snake because it's visible, and then you have the hydrogen flame that's just like a little snake.
Okay, let's talk about why it is so difficult to see hydrogen here. Let's move the webcam up here so you can see us. Let's discuss why we can't see hydrogen fire. So first, fire.
Transition it.
Oh. Sorry, I need to click the transition button. I'm doing great, guys.
This is why you're pressing the buttons and I'm just fucking around.
Don't you love to be in the backseat driver position where you can just correct me all the time?
I just want to make sure they see it. I'm trying to be helpful.
It's very helpful.
And not just be an asshole that's next to you drinking.
Okay, so why can't we see hydrogen fire?
I don't know. Why not, Astra?
Well, first, let's talk about why we can see regular fire. So fire is any chemical reaction that produces heat as a byproduct. When hydrogen catches fire, it combines with oxygen to form water, or H2O, and a lot of heat. Now, this makes it a great rocket fuel when combined with liquid oxygen in a very controlled environment, but unfortunately, our atmosphere also has uncontrolled oxygen just around, which...
That's flammable.
Yeah, and personally, I think we could really solve this by removing all of the oxygen from Earth's atmosphere. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like a good job. Since, like, we're trying to get all the carbon out of the atmosphere, and then if we just take out all the oxygen, well, then that solves multiple problems already.
Solves overpopulation, all right?
Yeah, it kills all the billionaires. Done deal. Oh, can I tell a fun story that you might have to correct me on? It's science related, I promise.
Okay, I don't have that much booze left, but go.
Okay, so while I was at the planetarium working there, there was a child who came up to me in the CDL, or the design lab there, and asked what would happen if space wasn't a vacuum and it was just filled with oxygen, because their teacher just couldn't answer it for them. They didn't know. And I said, well, oxygen...
Wait, would it be filled with a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, or just oxygen?
Just oxygen in the vacuum of space.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, it would be on fire because oxygen is highly flammable. So the entire universe would go up in flames. And the child went, well, what would happen after? And I went, we're dead. What does it matter? But so Steve was around, our paleontologist, opera singer who has appeared on the channel before, and he came around just in time to do the not math that chemists do with all the letters and numbers that is just, and it's not an equal sign, it's the arrow. So we figured out, at least from what Steve
There'd
calculated,
be a bunch of water.
Yeah, that it would, and then it would freeze.
Yep.
So everything would freeze if oxygen, it would
just be a lot of ice.
It would just be ice.
Ice.
Baby.
I did not. I'm empty, and that was a mistake. Okay.
You want me to grab more wine while you actually teach people how to do science?
Okay, let's get through the fire one, and I probably shouldn't be drinking that much because it is a school night.
It is a school night.
And I have, work in the morning because of my whole job that I have.
Nice.
So when wood burns, we're talking about wood fires specifically, not hydrogen fires. So your regular campfire, what we all think of as normal fire. The flame we see is from the carbon atoms. Oh, hello, Bean. Coal or ash heating up and glowing. That's the same incandescence that lit old light bulbs. It's a thing gets hot and it glows. As we covered on a previous video, I think that was the Avatar video, the temperature of the flame affects its color, as does the material being burned, but that's for a different reason, electron excitation. So for our purposes currently, the temperature of the flame affects its color, and the intensity of the heat escaping affects how bright it is. So hydrogen, unlike wood, has a comparatively low radiant heat. Now, what that means is, I don't know if you heard the video we played earlier, but
I love radiators.
Yeah, radiant heat is the heat next to the flame. So you've got the heat of the flame and then the heat out here. That's the radiant heat. And hydrogen has really low radiant heat compared to like regular candle or wood fires, carbon fires, which means that its flame is not as bright. It's not really invisible during daytime, just incredibly faint, so humans have trouble seeing it. So, we've covered why hydrogen burns with a pale blue flame that is nearly invisible in daylight. It is usually blue, but it can appear yellow if there are impurities in the air like dust or sodium. Don't at me. And we've also covered that it can leak out of pipes really easily, and we've covered why NASA needs to use it to power rockets.
I think we've also covered why you need to move to the East Coast and we shouldn't be doing live streams because my impulsive brain just decides to run. I'm having fun though.
So, the question is, how does NASA deal with the fact that its number one choice of rocket fuel has a habit of easily escaping the tiniest leaks in pipes and starting invisible fires when it hits the oxygen in the atmosphere?
Carefully, I hope.
Yes. So, we're going to talk about three methods. We're coming toward the end of the live stream, and then Eris will take a quick Q&A as I figure out what's wrong with the dog. In the 60s, throughout the 60s and early 70s, so during the Apollo era, they used what was called the broom method.
I think I can talk about we should do the Q&A right now.
We should do the Q&A?
I think that should just...
Okay. I'm gonna... Yep, I'll be right back. Sorry, dog has some slight gastrointestinal issues. We went to the vet, she's fine.
Yeah, Neutrino is gonna be fine. But I've been left to my own devices now. So
you
how...
have my notes, do it!
Oh, yeah, I'm literate. Where are the
There's
notes?
a quote, read the quote.
The quote?
Yeah.
I feel like I've just been thrown into a quest and I don't quite know where everything lives. Okay, so I found the quote. Update, I found it.
It starts within the Apollo days.
I found it. I did it all on my own, Astra. Aren't you proud? All right, so the quote is, in the Apollo days, detecting a flame from one of those leaks was accomplished by using the broom method, whereby workers would take a broom and walk around with the head stretched out in front of them, and if the head began to burn, there was a leak. Which, I mean, seems like a pretty good method, though. The witchy side of me says, why would you be burning brooms? You could use those to fly. Robert says, don't do anything that gets you deplatformed. I can't promise anything. I cannot. However, I don't have Astra to actively annoy, so I think we're in safe territory. So I want to give you a little preview of what we have going on. Don't tell Astra that I told y'all this. all right? So no narcs in the chat, please. We have a series of really interesting interviews coming out. I'm the one editing them, so who knows when they'll come out. However, we have one unconfirmed, but yes, from a very, very, very important person that I would lose to a fist fight in. And then we also have one of my dear friends, H. Peter Steeves. He is a retired professor from DePaul University, and he focuses on the philosophy of science and astrobiology. So he was in like NASA research groups to talk about the origins of life and how life will end and how the universe will end. So that's a really exciting one coming up. And then we also have one that is being edited in the works that is a kind of a compliment to our is he serious big archaeology debunking spree. That's how I remember most of these videos, is I will just say kind of what I remember from writing, because sometimes I just write and then I wake up and then Astra's like, cool, I'm gonna film, and I'm like, I don't know what you're filming, but it's exciting. Oh yeah, Daria, thank you for not texting while driving. Yeah, sneak peeks are gonna be fun. I will definitely say that I am a little nervous about one of the interviews because I might start crying like at the start, because it's so wild. My favorite Flurf. Thanks for rockets use helium to float up. Okay, so I think I remember a fun fact about helium when it comes to this context. Not that it's flammable, but that it's deadly. It's either this or hydrogen. I'll have to fact check myself once Astra is back, so then she can tell you about real science, and then I will shout out the answer at a random point in the stream without context, so she will have no idea what I'm referencing. So I watched a documentary on the death penalty. I know, thrilling, fun content. So I think it was that they were using either hydrogen or I'm pretty confident it's hydrogen now that I'm telling the story. But so they have suggested it as an alternative to the injections because a lot of times those fail. I believe there's one state where like the electric chair is still illegal. So like, it's just, the death penalty is a whole other issue, but there were a lot of scientists who said that it was possible to kill somebody peacefully without them really like experiencing any pain by just letting them breathe in hydrogen instead of oxygen. So it would essentially lull them into a state of unconsciousness before, you know, the oxygen would be deprived of their brain and then boom, dead. Again, I need to fact check this because this is a documentary that oh, it's nitrogen. Joe, are you fact checking me in real time? Thank God. Joe, thank you for, yeah, it's nitrogen. You know what? I've never claimed to be a chemist. Though I did want to be a chemist growing up. In second grade, I really decided that I was gonna be a chemist at MIT so then I could make things explode, because I didn't realize that number one, that's not what chemists in academia do, and number two, that I could have just been a pyrotechnician, and that would have basically been the same thing. Oh, I hear the door. So nobody narc on me. Nobody tell Eris anything that just happened. Or not Eris, Astra. Oh my God, it's been a week. It's been an exhausting week. Anyway, there are invisible leaks that people need to take care of when it comes to hydrogen fuel. I don't think it's in I don't think NASA has a presence in Oklahoma, but it's definitely like a story that goes around. If to prevent leaks, you really got to put some tape on it. Astra will confirm if, what was it, flex tape?
Tape doesn't prevent the leaks.
Not even flex tape, the strongest tape to exist. You remember that infomercial with like a giant like tub of like water that has one leak and the guy slaps some tape on it and goes flex tape and it just stops? Are you sure that flex tape won't even do it?
Yeah, metal. Like these are leaks in metal.
Oh.
Like metal joints. Okay.
So then you can tape it around the metal joint.
Okay, so how far did we get?
We got to the quote and then it went off the rails. But,
Okay.
but they're not going to narc on me, so it's fine. See, Robert knows what I'm talking about. Robert is talking about the flex tape. Thank you.
Didn't that become a meme of like how to badly like slap a band-aid on your problems?
Yes.
Okay.
We can use flex tape to prevent leaks with hydrogen.
Okay, there is a difference between liquid hydrogen and liquid water, specifically.
What? But water is H2O
Okay.
and H is hydrogen, and there are two of them.
Yeah, molecules are like a lot bigger than atoms because molecule is a bunch of atoms. Specifically, H2O is 3 atoms because it's 1 O and 2 H's.
Yeah, but there's 2 H's. And if you have all H's, then it's like multiple.
Well, if they're attached to each other, it's still going to be bigger. It's like if we were holding hands, it would be harder for us to like walk through a door. Like we'd have to go sideways, and we wouldn't just like happen to sneak through. But like we could probably, one of us alone, just fit through like a little narrow door. Is like that. Okay. This is a level of intimacy that I'm not accustomed to. Okay.
Listen, I'm really good at distraction and evading from a point.
All
The
this
audience will know what I mean.
All this to say, NASA.
Yeah.
They put a man on the moon while frantically waving brooms in front of themselves to detect invisible fires. By the way, did you ever show the broom method?
No, I thought that you would want to do the reveal.
Okay, this is a official demonstration of the broom method being used. As you can tell, there's a hydrogen fire, and we have our scientists just waving the broom in front of her until it catches fire and being like, oh, that's where the fire is. We should walk the other direction. Okay. Now, in the 80s and 90s, so a bit later, but still history, they actually used ultraviolet sensors to detect flames. So instead of just waving a broom, you would walk looking at a screen, and then you'd be like, oh, it's suddenly quite hot. And oh, there appears to be some ultraviolet emissions. I should walk the other direction so I don't walk into a flame.
But like the visual of the broom, the drama of it.
Yeah.
Why would you abandon that? Like as a writer and as a dramatic bitch, I say go full broom.
So with the broom, once it's caught fire, you can't really tell where the source of the leak is.
But you know it's leaking, and it has succeeded at one part of the problem.
Yeah, okay. So...
Minika's here.
Hey, Minika!
You have missed a lot of nonsense. I'm so sorry for what you're walking into. Emotionally prepare yourself.
So, anyway.
Well, see, Minika, the broom is supposed to prevent you from walking directly into the flame, unless that's what you want. Because if you do, you'll be warm for the rest of your life.
Is that the... Teach some...
Yeah,
give someone
give a
fire.
man on fire and he'll be warm for a night. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's how the saying goes.
So, now... we're going to talk about the modern method of detecting hydrogen fire.
Lame method?
Yes, the lame method. Hydrogen detection tape. So, hydrogen detection tape. Yay, I know how to make the transitions.
That's why I'm here, to make sure Astra can do the transitions. And Astra's here to keep me in line.
So, in 2003, UCF's Florida Solar Energy Center received $20 million from NASA for hydrogen research. After that program was initiated, like right after, the Kennedy Space Center identified a need for an easy-to-use, safe, effective, and non-powered solution to visually detect dangerous hydrogen leaks on and near the shuttle launch pad to, avoid a Hindenburg in a way that is slightly more effective than just frantically waving brooms and hoping you got it.
Okay, so Joe brings up a really good point, and I do genuinely have this question now.
Okay.
Would it be dangerous to consume marshmallows toasted when you find the fire? Like, if you use a marshmallow to find the hydrogen fire, will that be unsafe to consume?
Well, let's think about this. Hydrogen fire is just hydrogen and oxygen combining to form H2O. So I think the worst you would get would be a soggy marshmallow. Hydrogen fire is actually really clean. Like, its byproduct isn't a dangerous ash or even CO2 or CO. It's just water. Like, hydrogen's fire byproduct is just water. It's not a carbon fuel. That's one of the many reasons that a lot of people want to power things with hydrogen.
Gotcha.
The issue is that you turn stuff into the Hindenburg real fast.
Okay, so we don't have the budget to fuck around and find out on that one?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm actually not sure about the budget question. But no!
Shit.
No.
What's the point? I quit.
Did you only join this channel because you wanted to set yourself on fire?
I wanted to set other things on fire, Astra. I wanted to set other things on fire.
We
and
took you camping.
Second grade Rory's dream of setting shit on fire professionally.
But we took you camping, and
yeah.
We made a campfire, and I don't think it made it into the final video, but you have gotten to set things on fire for Bad Astra.
I did help with that.
You made some lovely s'mores. They were so yummy.
But not with, like, hydrogen fire. Like, I want to try different kinds of fire to figure out, like, what the perfect fire for a s'more is. Because I've already got the technique down, the, like, slow, like, turn.
I think a hydrogen fire might make the s'more a little wet. Also, hydrogen fires aren't great because they have such low radiant heat that you can't do the low and slow version. It's kind of an all or nothing.
You put the broom in first, figure out where the line is, and then you stand over the...
no, because you'd have to hold the marshmallow so close that it would either catch on fire or not crisp up because of the way radiant heat works. It's not that you have a shorter window, it's that you have a very, very tiny window, like smaller than the mallow.
Well...
So it would be a bad fire. Like, you would want...
There's still a window. And where there's a window, there's a way. Join our Patreon to fund this science experiment.
I'm pretty sure everyone watching is already on our Patreon.
That's true.
I promise.
Share with your friends. Make my dreams come true.
Please stay on our Patreon and have your friends join with a note that we're not going to start any hydrogen fires.
No, I don't think that attitude, Astra.
It would be like 2 months of our Patreon just to buy the hydrogen. No! Anyway.
Fun killer.
So we needed a safe, effective, and non-powered solution to visibly detect dangerous hydrogen leaks around the rockets. Now, since hydrogen gas is odorless and colorless, visual detection would make it way easier to pinpoint the source of the leak and repair it. Not with flex tape.
But it's strong enough. We know that.
That's a whole bunch of boring science. Basically,
Welcome to Bad Astra, a science education channel that actively chooses the fun parts of science, not the boring shit that other science channels will give you. Netflix, give us a show.
it couldn't be worse than Ancient Apocalypse.
I mean,
Here's the thing. He had so many drone shots and they were all boring.
oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry, but no one cares about a drone shot of your pontoon boat.
However, they do care about my patented scientific method of fucking around and finding out, and Astra trying to keep me alive. Netflix, it's on you. Let me do dumb shit and let her try to educate people while I do it.
Or we just need a producer and a drone, and then we can make Graham Hancock's nonsense but better.
Oh my god, I could do a Graham Hancock cosplay.
No! I've already spent way too much of my brain space and life on that nonsense. Okay.
Okay.
Long story short, they mixed a bunch of patents, and now we can detect hydrogen leaks with tape, so we know exactly where the leak is, and we can repair it. Go team. It's a happy ending with the hydrogen. So that's everything. That's we sent a person to the moon while we were using brooms to detect invisible fire from our rocket fuel, and now we don't have to do that anymore. Science is a process. What is the chat saying? Do we have any questions?
I think Robert is just making fun of me by confirming the actual, not math for the, H2O and hydrogen shit. Because Robert's too smart to genuinely ask that question. I know you. There are too many numbers. I blacked out.
That is the most sarcastic phrasing. Wait, you're saying that two H2 and O2 molecule? Two H2 molecules and an O2 molecule could make H2O?
Wow, our audience is sarcastic. We attract that kind of people. Wow. We need to rebrand. Oh, Robert's also asking to confirm if we went to the moon, and the answer is possibly. There might be a laser.
Yes, we went to the moon.
Who has the hair trigger now, Astra?
I was convinced that I would come back and I would hear the words time cube, and you would just hear me screaming from the other room.
The chat and I are well behaved.
Good.
Though I will say, Peter Steves has major time cube energy, and I'm so excited for you to see it, but he does it in a way that is actually academically sound and interesting.
Because
and
he's a real academic professor.
Yeah, he's a real professor.
You promise he's a real professor,
Yes,
right?
yes. He's
Okay.
retired, and he's an anarchist who doesn't believe money should exist either. We get along great.
I'm letting Eris do the interviews this month. I'm letting Eris choose the interviews this month. Centering myself.
I have a lot of really fantastic philosopher friends that I don't think Astra would understand, because she doesn't find joy in the question, why does M equal A? She only knows that M does equal A.
I really shouldn't have introduced.
We are different.
I really should not have introduced M. I should have just stuck with A.
Oh,
it's fine.
Richard's here. Hi, Richard. I haven't seen you in the chat.
Nice. Hi, Richard. It's good to see you. Okay. Nikki, who got set on fire in the 80s?
Not me. I wasn't alive.
Robert says, Nikki Lauda got set on fire in the 70s. lived another 30 years. I assume he got cold at some point in the intervening time. That is, that's if you set a person on fire.
Yeah.
I really think you just he wasn't set on fire for enough.
Okay, so this is
Gotta have multiple ignition points.
That kind of dips into epistemology, which is a study of, like, a section of philosophy, it's phenomenology, which is all about studying the phenomena that, like, we experience and trying to make philosophical sense.
Whether or not this is science,
it's philosophy.
Okay.
We're clear, it's philosophy.
Okay, it's not science. Good.
No, but you can do a science experiment to actually understand this concept that Peter Steves will explain better than I will. But if you put one hand in hot water and you put one hand in cold water, and then you put both hands into lukewarm water, one hand will feel different than the other. And that is kind of the essence of phenomenology, of, like, how you experience the world is the truth for you, but it may not necessarily be a universal experience or what is quote unquote correct.
Okay. Oh.
Astra's just like, philosophy, left turn, not doing it, not engaging.
No. So, Minica included a really fun fact that I want to highlight. Russian rocket launches light the engines with a fire on a stick. That is just the broom method in reverse. Yeah. The broom method is detecting invisible fire that's already there by lighting a stick from that fire. That's I feel like our thumbnail could just be different in Russia. That's just how the Russians do.
Nice. Okay, so I have a question. I don't know if you'll know this answer, about the development of the ballpoint pen, of, like, NASA trying to figure out how to make a pen write in space. Meanwhile, the Russians just took up pencils, and the ballpoint pen was invented for that. That's true?
Yep. I don't know if it's the ballpoint pen specifically, but I have heard about the NASA special pen and the Russians with a pencil. Yes.
America.
That is very American. We have special things for space.
Because we're special boys and girls.
Like, we have the special...
And thems.
We have the special space juice boxes in space, but down here we just use Capri Sun. It's the same thing, but different.
So we could just bring Capri Sun into space, and it would be fine.
We'd need a slightly better seal after you punch the straw through, but yeah, pretty much. You could drink a Capri Sun in space.
Do we have the budget, Astra?
Okay, I would actually love to go and bring a Capri Sun to space.
Finally, we agree.
But
join our Patreon. Let us drink Capri Sun in space.
You do realize that unless we had Elon Musk...
I mean, I know a guy. Stay tuned for that interview.
Like, unless we had billionaire levels of money, which I don't think is something either of us want, and if we did have that, we probably shouldn't blow it on going to space to drink a Capri Sun, because, you know, a third of all GoFundMes are just popularity contests to see who lives and who dies because of healthcare debt. So, you know, I'm okay that I'm never going to get to go to space because I currently have health insurance, and I think that everybody having health insurance and getting to go to college if they want to, and maybe killing all the landlords. No, sorry.
Careful, Astra. You're talking philosophy now. I got her. Yes. Slowly, Bad Astra will just, like, eventually convert into philosophy.
No. We cannot do it as well.
That's true.
As the already established.
We can't compete with Abigail Thorne. We can't compete with Contra Pointer, right?
Like, we no. And I don't have the education to do that anyway. Okay. You have any other... You're Minica out here calling me out. Look. I'm gonna apologize by showing you all.
You don't need to
neutrino.
apologize. Philosophy is in all of us, and we all desire to know the answers to life, the universe, and everything. And not all of us know that it's 42, and that's okay. There are big questions out there that we are gonna answer.
I just desire doggy snuggles. I'm not gonna lie. Nova is currently in an undisclosed location. I'm kidding. She's in Wanaka, New Zealand. Nova is in New Zealand currently, working on a NASA balloon launch that is a proof of concept for a potential satellite that could go up in a few years.
Could you put a Capri Sun in?
No, they're already they've been trying to get the weight down for a while because getting everything light enough to shoot it into space with a balloon and then potentially a satellite is not easy.
And not as important as Capri Suns in space.
Yes, it's
NASA
not
has
that
the priorities
important.
Backwards.
I think
you can't trust me to come on any live stream. You should have
really
learned this a
can't.
while ago.
Does anybody have any questions about the broom method, about NASA, about hydrogen fires, about anything scientific that I could maybe answer?
If you have follow-up questions about the time cube, I can answer those.
Please don't. I think we have time to hang out until 8:30, and then we'll just
and
head
I
out.
need to get home since I'm on the other side of the city.
It's okay. It's raining. It's fine.
Yeah.
I have to get up early for work. I'm also currently, after work, I do science workshops with kids. And today we did a workshop that modeled working on the International Space Station. But this is for 8 to 12-year-olds. So we had them build snap circuits and learned all about circuits while they were wearing super heavy, intense winter gloves to model what it's like to work in a spacesuit. And that was a lot of fun. Kids are nuts though. Also, earlier this week when we were working with the rovers, we have them program rovers to teach them all about programming. And some of the groups went rogue and two of the rovers, Adriana and Penelope, were married, and there was a lot of forced kissing with the rover cameras.
Again, send me the registry. I just want to congratulate the happy couple.
So cute because it was a group of 5 boys that just went straight, they just went rogue. There were all of these programming challenges to do, and they were like, oh, let's make the rovers go as far as possible. We're going to do one command that's just go 99 feet because that's the cap. Let's go from one end of the room all the way to the other end of this gym. And then they had the rovers race.
Nice.
And then the rovers, they tried to get the rovers to fight, but I did have to stop them from doing that.
Okay, but robot fights are genuinely a sport. This could have been their early career stages of winning the robot wars.
Except they weren't programming the rovers to fight. They were hitting each other with the rovers.
Oh.
And that's just dangerous for a bunch of 8-year-olds to do.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was rovers v humans. I thought it was rovers v rovers.
It was human with a heavy rover against another human with a heavy rover. So I said they couldn't fight.
I respect it.
And immediately these young boys pivoted to, okay, they're getting married.
You know what?
And I'm like, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Enemies to lovers is a very clear trope that works.
So Adriana and Penelope, the 2 gay Mars rovers, they had a rivals to enemies to lovers storyline.
I love that.
It was beautiful to watch. We were over time, and I was like, I'm just not gonna go home. I'm just gonna see how this plays out.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, I'm on my way over.
This was a few days ago when you were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you were on your way over, I was already in the car.
Right.
Today was the snap circuits. It was yesterday. 2 days ago was the crazy.
Was the rover wedding?
Yeah, the rover wedding. Yesterday was some different rover chaos. Yesterday the kids were slightly more focused.
Oh, that's not fun.
I mean, they learned a lot about programming. You know, my job to teach them about programming.
But they didn't have a good, like, enemies to lovers plot line. I'm sorry. Mission failed. All right? Narratively speaking, that is boring.
I did, so apparently I accidentally taught sci-fi romance to a bunch of 8 to 12-year-olds.
And then you failed to do that with the second round.
Yep.
And as a result, these kids are being programmed to be obedient and not seek their dreams of being sci-fi romance novelists.
Hey, maybe their dream is to be a NASA programmer.
But they can also write romance novels.
Yes.
You can do both.
Anyone can write smutty romance novels. Self-publishing is an option. AO3 is an option. Just having them on your computer is an option. There are no boundaries to writing. I like how this started as, let's talk about hydrogen fire. I tried to find a very interesting NASA story, and we're talking about hydrogen fire and how this was solved with a really cool tape, and then it very quickly descends into everyone writing sci-fi rover porn.
Listen, it's not my fault that you didn't realize that I have the, like, temperament of a child and you didn't put the guardrails on in time.
Hey, my wife is gone for a month. Stunt wife, wanna come over and maybe we can do a bad Astra stream? I'll do all the research.
I crawl out of my writer's script. My time is gone.
Yep.
Yep. This is how we are. Yeah.
AO3 rover time.
I've never been on AO3, fun fact, which is something that I'm very, very proud of. Also, if Minika, I will go on AO3 if you start writing fan fiction of the rovers and the time cube. I absolutely 100% support you in your dream. I will.
Yeah, if you write that, send it to us and we'll post it on the Patreon.
Oh, I will read it on live stream. I will do a dramatic reading of whatever this fan fiction from our community is.
You know, I know we are 4 adults, but we try to keep things like at least not child appropriate, but like family friendly.
Not chaos hour, baby. Chaos hour, I dramatically read fan fiction about rovers and the time cube, and Astra corrects me in real time, breaking down the scientific inaccuracies.
Be careful, someone's gonna ship scientific inaccuracies, the rovers, and the time cube in a polytriad.
Honestly, I think Minika's on it. I think we can trust Minika to deliver.
I think we can't trust Minika. That's why we know she'll deliver.
Daria, thank you. Wait. I will say I did exist on fanfiction.net as a middle schooler, so there is an embarrassing trail.
Another topic for
thank you, Robert, for getting us back on track.
We could go over the math and the programming for the Apollo missions.
Math incorrect. No, not doing it. Not today.
But that might actually be a fun thing to go through as like another live stream, maybe in a week or so.
As long as there are no numbers.
I mean, it would be more of a history. Like, here are the cool women who did a bunch of math for the Apollo missions. Like, you saw the movie Hidden Figures, right?
No.
Okay, well,
I know the story.
Everyone go home, watch the movie Hidden Figures. It's great. Janelle Monáe is super hot. It's a phenomenal movie. And neither here or there, but Janelle Monáe is also very hot, and she's in it. But we can talk about that. We can talk about the NASA programmer who sent people to the moon. Also, awesome woman. Yeah, we can talk about the women in the Apollo missions.
About it.
I could also...
I have a bunch of amazing women scientists that I just got to moderate panels for that we can also bring on and chat with.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get that done this month, though.
Nope, not at all.
We will still have a live stream where I talk about or it might not even be a live stream. It might just be women who were robbed of Nobel Prizes.
Oh, yes. All right, we should probably
we need to wrap up because it's 8:30.
It's past my bedtime, or rather, it's past Sam's bedtime, and I need to get back to the north side.
Yes. Awesome. So, thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out with us.
And giving us video ideas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. Crowdsourcing content.
Please remember to share all of our content around. Thank you all so much who are members of our Patreon. Tell other people to join. Tell other people to just subscribe and check us out. Unfortunately, because of both of us having new jobs and dealing with that transition, and the fact that I am now a full-time stay-at-home single dog mom right now.
Yeah, and then I'm about to move, so we're just
there's gonna be, we have a lot of content that's been filmed and is in the editing queue, but our content is going to be coming out slower just because editing takes time. We're going to try to do more live streams to fill in the gaps while that happens. Also, we want to hang out together before I move to New Jersey.
I do have abandonment issues, so that would be nice.
I am emotionally available.
I'm not. I'm emotionally elsewhere.
I am
in the Fey realm emotionally. I am dissociated from reality.
On that note, everybody, have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, remember, as we went over in this stream, science